We have some pretty cool things to talk about. We're talking about clones, Chinese multi-tools getting clones. We're talking about, is this the answer? What is the answer? And then what about this? Let's get started. Now on the left side, this is the Vanguard wrench from Nextool, and I have long talked about this being one of the best heavier duty multi-tools on the market on a budget. This comes in right now $39.99. You can get it for even cheaper on AliExpress sometimes, but this right here has a really fantastic wrench on the end that really doesn't get in the way that much. Then it does have a pretty nice bit driver at the end. There are 2 bits included that can go here or here or here. You have multiple places to put the bits, Phillips and the flat. You use the ball detents and they go like so. Now you can also use normal 1/4-inch bits right there into the bottom. You can do that. So yeah, bit driver, wrench, pretty nice. Then on the outside, you've got a very long knife. This is not locking. That will be good for some people, perhaps bad for others. On the opposing side, a saw that is locking. On the inside, a pair of spring-loaded pliers that is very smooth, wire cutters, a notch you can use as a wire crimper at the bottom. Yeah, I really do like this tool. I think it's pretty fantastic for $41. I think it's a good deal. So I did carry an older version of this. I will show you that coming up, but I have modded it pretty significantly and we'll discuss that a little later. All right, so we have the Nextool Vanguard, and now we have this tool on the market. I cannot remember if this has been around for a long time or not, but this particular version is about $10 or so cheaper, $10 to $20 cheaper sometimes than the Nextool. This one right here has a very rough plier head. It looks almost exactly the same when you compare these to each other, pretty much identical, but then when you start looking, there are some pretty serious differences. Now I got this one, I think in total maybe $27 versus $41, so it definitely was a little cheaper, but yeah, it was not worth the reduced price. This is very gritty, very grainy right there. The plier head looks, I guess, okay, but it's so nasty sounding that unfortunately, even though the plier head looks sort of nice, I don't really trust it. Now, one of the things I want to show you is this right here. Look at these, actually on this side, look at the definition of the grooves on the plier as opposed to Nextool. Nextool is pretty clean, but this one right here is, it's pretty jagged. So it is fairly disappointing. Definitely, it's not machined very well. It looks like someone did a rush job on this one. Maybe these are the seconds. I don't really know. I don't think so, but yeah, everything about this looks almost the same, just a little bit worse. The pliers do sometimes almost stick coming out. There are the same 2 bits that sit in there just the same as Nextool. Pocket clip, closing this up. There is a saw, but on this one, the saw is different, and then there's no locking mechanism on the saw. That's different. And then on this side, the knife blade is completely different. Yeah, that's really sort of weird. So what a departure from Nextool. Very different in blade shape. So this is a little disappointing looking at this tool. I thought maybe they would be pretty much identical. This doesn't even have roller markings where the Nextool does. There are just a lot of differences between these, so many similarities, but a lot of differences. Nextool is definitely the way to go. What's happening in the market right now is we are seeing now even Chinese companies being cloned by other Chinese companies and cheaper versions coming out. So be careful, be aware. If it's on AliExpress and it has a certain name to it or a certain look to it, don't just take it for granted that it's the same quality as you've expected from another company. It may not be. So that's, yeah, just be aware of that. Now, let's move on to the second part of this, and that is I have actually cut down 2 of these versions. So I'm always looking for more of a cut down, lighter weight version of some of these heavier tools, something more pocketable, something in more like under 4-inch frame size. Now this one right here, I actually had a friend of mine go ahead and 3D print a hammer end on it, and I think it turned out pretty good, pretty neat how he did that. Then you can actually still use this bit driver right there. But yeah, that sort of slimmed that down. This was originally a W4 with the wrench on the end, but now we have it slimmed down. I also went the same route with this right here. This is the old version of the tool that I used to always carry with me to work, but I was curious what would happen if you took the wrench off. So I did cut the wrench off, and then you have this slimmed down version, which I actually like. It's pretty cool, but I was thinking tonight, wouldn't it be cool if you could put a utility knife in this tool? This is made by Ben from Modrite. This is for the Leatherman Surge, but wouldn't that be awesome if you could fit it in here? I don't know if you can. Maybe in some of the upcoming videos on my membership channel, I might try. We'll see. But I think that might be the answer to the multi-tool utility issue. Now, Roxxon has made several utility knives that are multi-tools, but a lot of them end up a little bit too heavy, or they do not have a set of pliers. I'm looking for a lighter version of a utility knife with pliers and a bit driver. Those are the things I'm looking for. Now, Dekoyu, they sent me with the latest multi-tool that came out, the second version of their 2nd anniversary edition. They sent this for free with it, which is nice. Unfortunately, the bit driver with the bit in it doesn't close, but you can close it without the bit. But this is a nice tool. Otherwise, in G10, very smooth. Pretty neat how it works. And this is what we've gotten used to in the multi-tool world when we talk about utility knives, or unfortunately maybe something like this with about 10,000 can openers, it seems like, on the end. And then this one has some random wrenches and screwdrivers thrown on that are not, in my opinion, that useful. But if we could have something like this with a utility knife on it, I would love something like that. Now, this is a multi-tool that I'm seeing a pop up on Amazon. This has been on the market before, but then a new trend I'm seeing is multi-tools are disappearing, and then they're reintroduced as basically like a new multi-tool with another brand name. This one right here is a fishing multi-tool with the diamond-like file, Phillips screwdriver. This is, I think this is maybe to clean the fish hook. You've got another tool right here for fishing, a wrench, a screwdriver on the inside. Let's go ahead and close these all up. On this opposing side, there was this bottle opener, screwdriver. Then open this up for the special pliers for fishing. Now, if I remember right, I do not remember if this had a knife. I don't think this did, which is very unusual. Usually all these tools have a knife, but this one was a little unusual in that respect. Now, it does remind me of like a Leatherman Squirt or a Gerber Dime, something similar to that, but it is a fishing multi-tool. I will put links to the new released version. I think they come in several different colors. I'll put that underneath the video, but just be aware, yeah, this has been out for a little bit, but it's being reintroduced to Amazon, as are several of the new models that are coming out.